All right, let's dive in. Open up your 3D code and choose the voxel sculpting. Let's load one of the mannequins, pre-made models. I'm loading this one just for size comparison. So let's go to the orthographic view down here to the right. We are in the perspective, so hit 5 on your numpad to switch to orthographic. All right, now we need to load the reference image. I have left and right. I'm going to use left reference image. To load the reference image inside the 3D code, you have two options. Just drag and drop it and choose add a reference image. Let me cancel that. Or go to the camera icon, background, and add a ref image to x-axis. All right, let's load that image, and as you can see, my image is a little bit too big. So when you're loading the reference image, it's gonna open up the ref image editor. So to make the image smaller, just go to the corner and grab one of the balls and move and scale it down. I'm gonna compare that to the head. Yes, something like this. All right. I added a few custom hotkeys. One of them is here, show and hide ref image. If I hold the pen, as you can see, it says U. If I hit U, it's gonna hide and show the reference image. And the other is for the reference image editor. If I go to camera and background, as you can see here, edit image placement, it says I. So if I hit I, it's gonna hide and unhide the image editor. But to unhide and hide the image, we need to open up the editor, then hit the show and hide hotkey. So let's use U and close this one. Let's keep it here, maybe here. All right. Now that we loaded the reference image, now it's time to delete this male mannequin image model. Sorry. So to do that, we need to have a empty layer. So click here, the plus button, and volume 7. It's gonna be our new layer. So select the male and delete that out. Let's change the name by hitting double click, and the name, let's call this one horse. It's gonna inherit the subdivision level from the previous layers, and to reduce that, first of all, we need to have something inside this scene. I'm gonna start by adding the primitives to make the base shape of the horse body. So to load a primitive voxel, you have two options. Go to the bottom of the sidebar and choose primitive, or just simply hit space and select the primitives. Where is it? Here. By default, it's gonna import the first primitive. As you can see, the sphere, and all of that primitives are available for you. Some of them has some options. Maybe, for example, this one. You have a graph to shape this cylinder, but not here, not for this particular model. So switch back to sphere, move the sphere here and make it bigger up here by radius, or just select let's see, yeah, let's move that down, maybe by grabbing this handle here. Yeah, this is good, maybe a little bit higher. All right, this thing, it's not committed to the layer yet, it's a dummy, so don't move that. Hit apply to add that to the layer. We have several Boolean options here. So when you're using primitives, you have option to make the Boolean action on the fly. So we are in add operation. So it's gonna add that to the other mesh inside this layer. So let's hit apply and move that back. As you can see, we have a first our first sphere. Let's move this here, make it a little bit bigger, and the horse layer is still activated. Let's hit apply, and now we have two spheres. So let's switch to another primitive cylinder. So rotate that by z-axis by this button, move up, push that inside the second sphere, add a little bit of radius, all right. Now select this handle and make it bigger, or just change the height value. All right, by using this little thing here, you can rotate the cylinder. All right, that's nice. And we are still in add operation. So if I hit apply, it's going to combine them together and make a union operation. So yeah, that's that. That's simple. So to get rid of the primitives, we need to switch to another brush. I need to use move brush. So let's switch to move brush in transform section, or simply hit space and select the move. All right. If I hit, first of all, I, because the image editor is gone for some reason, so I, then U, as you can see, we made this shape. U again. All right, now let's move some of this around, but if I move that now, it's really dense and it's difficult to move. So let's go back by several Ctrl Z and reduce this 5x subdivision. How? Simply go all the way down to the toolbars or brush sidebar and resample, select resample, or simply by hitting space and select resample. We are at 2 and above 2 million. Down here, triangle, here, select this, maybe 200,000. It's enough for now. Hit OK. And now we are at 1x. So now it's easier to move the mesh around. Alright, let's go to the stomach and move that and match the shape to the concept or reference image. Maybe less. Here, push that in. A little bit here and a little bit at the bottom. All right, now let's hit U and see the result. As you can see, I made a change, but in one side of the model. Why? Because I'm not using the symmetry function. But don't worry, we can copy the one side to the other side. So to do that, first of all, enable the symmetry. How? By hitting S and use the X symmetry. All right, now to copy the one side to the other side, just after enabling this symmetry, just go to the side that you wanted to copy to the other side and just make a little bit of change. Go to the sculpt tree and use this symmetry called copy. Right, now as you can see, we are making changes to both sides. Let's rotate and hold Shift to snap. U to bring back the reference image. Now let's check that out again. Symmetry is enabled, so I'll make a change to both sides. All right, now let's add the neck and head base shape by using another really effective tool. Inside the curve at the bottom of the sidebar, as you can see, we have curves or space curves. To be safe, first of all, let's clear all the previous curves. We have a ball floating. Let's go here, but let's disable the symmetry first, so we don't make the ball or curve two times. So let's hit S, disable symmetry. This way, you're making the curve at the middle of the x-axis. So not at the model, outside. Let's make the first ball. You can hold right click, right to left, and make it bigger, or hold middle click to change the position. All right, this is our first and starting point of the curve. So let's position it here. And one more. As you can see, the connection is made. Make that bigger. This one even bigger. And push down to the previous shape. Pay attention to this shape, not the actual ball. All right. And if you wanted to change the base size, it's gonna make the balls or points based on your brush size. Hover over the previous mesh and make that smaller. All right, now we have smaller point. Click here and one more here. This one is smaller and move that around. here. Make this one bigger. Maybe move the previous here. One more. And something like that. You can go between the points and make new points, just like this. And also hover over the point, or just hit right click and make it angular. Or right click and make it curvy. Alright, now let's check the curves. When you're working with the curves for the rotation action, if you use the regular navigation action, the click and rotate, it's gonna make a curve. You need to hold Alt and rotate. Alright, we made the curve at the middle, and that's good. You can finish that right here. Same drop down, add, subtract, and other Boolean actions. If I hit apply, it's gonna make a shape and combine that to the previous shape. But I need to make the tail and also the legs. So just hit where is it? New curve. This one is stored. Now you can make new curves. Right click and let's make that move around here with the holding middle click. Again, click, hold the right click and make it smaller or bigger. Also, we can grab and make shape. One at the middle, move that here, and let me hold the right click and make this one bigger. I don't like this action. It's making some distortion at the middle. So let's back, and here. Let's continue regularly. All right, that's better. Make that smaller and let's move that here. All right, and maybe one more click here. Make it smaller. All right, now let's hit new curve again. Those are stored but not converted to the mesh yet. All right, let's click here, move that up inside the body. One more here, let's move this one. I can move that. All right, it's deep inside the legs, inside the body, so oh yeah, I grabbed that. All right, now let's continue making the front leg or paw. And all the way down. All right, same deal. New curve. Now we have 3 curves ready to convert to the mesh. So let's click here, move that up, make it a little bit bigger. Push that inside the mesh. One click here, and make it smaller, and this one a little bit bigger. Again, pay attention to the actual gray mesh, not the points. The size of the points are different than actual curve. So this one, let's make it pointy. So hover over that and hit right click. And another one here, one more at the middle. And all the way down. So we have some curves. All right, now let's see. I made a mistake. I believe, yeah, the legs are not supposed to be at the middle. So to make that right, let's create a temporary volume here, new layer, then hit apply. So this way, first of all, let me switch to another brush, something like move, hit U and get rid of the reference image. As you can see, the legs are in the middle. So by creating new layer, we separated these two layers from each other. So yeah. So now we need to split the the legs and head and also the tail from each other. So let's choose the split brush inside the objects. Hit E to bring the stroke panel or E panel. Disable the ignore back face, so our selection doesn't have the depth limit. So select the lasso and select the legs just like that, and it's gonna make a new layer for us. All right, let's move this layer between these two, and now we have 3 layers. All right, let's combine the horse body and the head and tail together, because those are in the right place. How we do that is by hovering over the layer here, hold shift, drag and drop that on the mesh body, horse body, and now those are combined together. So now the legs. All right, let's go to the front view, select the legs, go to the transform and select the transform gizmo and move those out. I don't have the front view, so I'm gonna guess maybe here's right. Yeah, that seems right. All right, now let's hold shift and drag this layer, the previous layer. Now we have one layer and the legs in correct place. As you can see, if I zoom here, those are combined together with a union Boolean action. All right, as I said before, if you wanted to copy a part to the other side, you just need to enable your symmetry, click and copy. Now we have legs on both sides, but not quite yet, because I wanted to escape that, then copy to the other side. So Let's bring back the reference image by hitting I, my custom hotkey, and U, again, my custom hotkey for the Schwann height. All right, let's move some parts and match that to the reference image. We are in ortho and side view. Hit space and choose the move brush. All right, now let's see which part we need to move. Maybe part a little bit. Yeah, it's good. And maybe this part a little bit inside neck. And face. And the tail. All right, not bad. For this part, I'm gonna use something else. So let's quit the symmetry by hitting S and disable the X symmetry. Also, I believe I can actually add key here, hotkey. Maybe not. All right, close that. And let's go to the brushes, adjust. This time, let's use voxel height. This is an interesting tool. By selecting that and hitting E, choosing, for example, the lasso, I can actually hide some part of the mesh. It's not deleted yet. So if I hold Control, the reverse, I can bring that back. No control and control. All right, so let's delete this part. And here and inside the mouth. So those are not deleted yet. You need to go to geometry and delete hidden to get rid of that excess mesh. Don't have anything else to delete, so yeah, that's good. So hit U key and check our model. And also let's let me go and see the model. Yeah, I guess no, that's not happened yet in here because that's a thin part of the model. But don't forget to ignore, uncheck the ignore backface. So the cut action, it goes through all the volume, whole volume, and to the other side. All right, now it's time to add some basic sculpt at the surface, but in the next part. So see you in the next part.